The dimly lit room aboard the interstellar observation vessel Eclipse hummed with the soft vibrations of alien technology. The walls, made of a shimmering, translucent material, reflected the faint glow of the holographic displays. In the center of the room, a large oval table floated, surrounded by chairs that seemed to mold themselves to the occupants as they sat. Zorath, a high-ranking analyst from the Galactic Federation's Department of Planetary Observation, stood at the head of the table. His elongated, silver-skinned fingers tapped lightly on the surface of the table, causing ripples of light to spread across its surface. His large, almond-shaped eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. He scanned the room as his colleagues took their seats. He cleared his throat. "Thank you all for coming," Zorath began, his voice a deep, resonant hum that seemed to vibrate through the room. "I have just received a report from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, or SIPRI for short. It is concerning, to say the least." He waved his hand, and a holographic projection of the report appeared above the table. The text, written in the human language of English, scrolled slowly, allowing the assembled aliens to read it. Zorath's second in command, a being named Zalara, leaned forward, her iridescent scales shimmering. "Can you summarize, Zorath?" she asked, her voice tinged with curiosity and a hint of dread. Zorath sighed, a sound that echoed like a distant wind. "It details the current state of the humans' nuclear arsenals. As of the start of 2024, they possessed over 12,000 nuclear weapons. Of these, a little under 9,600 are considered operationally available, and just under 4,000 are deployed with their military forces. The two most powerful nations, the United States and Russia, together hold almost 90% of these weapons." Zalara's eyes widened. 12,000 nuclear weapons? And they're still building more? "Yes," Zorath replied, his tone grave. "Despite the fact that they have the capability to destroy their entire planet several times over, they continue to expand their arsenals. The United States and Russia are both engaged in extensive programs to upgrade their nuclear warheads, delivery systems, and production facilities. And they are not alone. China, India, Pakistan, and even smaller nations like North Korea and Israel are either developing new weapons or increasing the size of their existing stockpiles." A murmur of disbelief spread through the room. One of the younger analysts, a being named Krill, spoke up. "But why? Surely they must understand the dangers they pose to themselves by now. Why would they continue to build weapons that could lead to their own extinction?" Zorath's expression darkened. "That continues to be the most perplexing part. The humans are fully aware of the destructive power of these weapons. They are seemingly unable to grasp the galactic implications that restrict us to observers. But they've studied the devastation caused by just two nuclear bombs in their history, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And yet they continue to invest vast resources into an endeavor that can easily lead to a mass extinction event for the entire species. They seem to be trapped in a cycle of fear and mistrust, unable to break free." Zalara leaned back in her chair, her scales flickering with a mix of frustration and sadness. "They remain complicit in their own potential destruction. They have the knowledge and the means to dismantle these weapons and to work towards peace, yet they choose not to. I was a critic of the restrictions placed upon us to be observers, but it is hard to argue against the Federation's decision. It is tragic." Zorath nodded. "Indeed. And it is not just the leaders of these nations who are to blame. The general population, while often vocal in their opposition to nuclear weapons, seems content to let their governments continue down this path. They are distracted by their daily lives, entertainment, and their smaller conflicts. They do not fully grasp the gravity of the situation." Krill frowned. "But surely there are some among them who understand this danger, who are working to change this." "Yes," Zorath admitted. "There are organizations and individuals who are dedicated to nuclear disarmament. SIPRI itself is one such organization. They publish these reports in hopes of raising awareness and encouraging action, but their efforts have not elicited the reaction from a species racing towards extinction. Many of the more resource-rich humans have direct interest in this endeavor. It seems like they are working to make sure that the populace maintains this pattern as the only viable option. Zalara sighed. It's a vicious cycle. The more weapons they build, the more they fear their enemies. And the more they fear their enemies, the more weapons they build. Self-perpetuating cycle of destruction. Zoraf's gaze shifted to the holographic report, which now displayed a map with the locations of nuclear arsenals highlighted. And it is not just the weapons themselves that are a threat. The humans' nuclear infrastructure is aging, and there is the risk of accidents, miscalculations, or even theft by rogue groups and organizations that may be less hesitant to use them. A single mistake could trigger a chain reaction that would have catastrophic consequences. The room fell silent as the weight of Zoraf's words sank in. After a moment, Krill spoke again, his voice barely above a whisper. I understand the hesitation, but we have to intervene at this point, right? Zoraf shook his head. Our prime directive forbids direct interference in the development of pre-war civilizations. We can observe, we can study, but we cannot intervene. The humans must find their own path to peace or face the consequences of their actions. Zalara's scales dimmed, reflecting her somber mood. It is a heavy burden to bear knowing that we cannot directly help them, but perhaps there is still hope. The humans are a resilient species. They have faced many challenges in their history and have often found ways to overcome them. Perhaps they will find a way to overcome this one as well. Zoraf nodded, though his expression remained grim. Perhaps, but I'm afraid the time is running out. They are only surviving due to luck at this point, and the longer they delay, the greater the risk becomes. The meeting concluded with a sense of unease. As the attendees dispersed, Zoraf remained in the room, staring at the holographic report. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was witnessing the slow unraveling of a civilization, one that had the potential for greatness, but was on the brink of self-destruction. As the hologram faded, Zoraf whispered a silent prayer to the stars, hoping that the humans would find the wisdom to change their course before it was too late. But deep down, he feared that they would not. And so, the aliens continued to watch, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that they could do nothing to prevent the impending disaster. The Federation would not risk contact with or help to advance such an immature species. The humans, in their ignorance and fear, were deemed as complicit in their own potential destruction. And the galaxy could only watch, wait, and hope.